This was September 2020. Thousands of residents of California's Bay Area around San Francisco witnessed what they called apocalyptic skies as thick smoke and fog turned their whole world orange. The wildfires of 2020 made for California's most destructive fire year on record. Now, the following year, 2021, became the second most destructive fire year in the history of the state. Wildfires are not an anomaly, nor are they all bad. Wildfires are a natural, necessary part of ecological systems. But today, wildfires look very different than they did even just a few decades ago. They are growing bigger, faster, and becoming more common. In the last 30 years, the annual acreage burned in the United States has more than doubled. Forest Service scientists expect that acreage to double again by mid-century if droughts and higher average temperatures persist. Wildfires are now burning regularly in places that have no record of regular large burns. Extreme-scale wildfires have ignited the Amazon rainforest, the Siberian wilderness, even the Arctic. And a new report by the United Nations Environment Program estimates extreme wildfire events will increase by 50% by the end of the century. Now, the shift points directly to climate change. Hotter temperatures, drier air, stronger winds, more intense low and high pressure systems, which are shifting because of melting sea ice and warmer oceans. It all contributes to the increase in wildfire intensity. More than half of the most destructive wildfires in U.S. history have occurred since 2018, mostly in California. But it doesn't just affect the western states that commonly burn, like California, Oregon, and Washington. That's because wildfire smoke is toxic. And harmful particles from wildfire smoke travel hundreds, if not thousands of miles. And due to a process called oxidation, those particles actually become more harmful to humans over time. In 4 out of the last 5 summers, smoke from the massive infernos in the West traveled across the country, eventually covering huge swaths of the U.S. in a smoky haze as far away as Chicago and New York. Smoke from the record Australian bushfires of 2019 and 2020 could be detected literally circling the globe within a matter of weeks. The deadliest fire in California's history, the Camp Fire, killed 85 people in 2018. At its peak, experts estimated that it was consuming 80 football fields per minute as high winds moved the blaze through the town of Paradise in Northern California. Within 4 hours, this is what happened to Paradise. The entire town was destroyed. The Bootleg Fire in southern Oregon was the biggest fire in the United States in 2021 and one of the largest in Oregon's history. It burned for nearly a month and a half before it was fully contained, and at its peak, it burned at a speed of about 1,000 acres per hour, 1 football field every 5 seconds. How could forest management and wildlife fighting teams possibly battle a blaze that moves at that speed with that intensity? Here's the thing. Although wildfires have intensified with climate change, the tactics used to detect and suppress them have not really evolved in decades. Today, most wildfires around the world are first detected when someone spots one and calls an emergency number. Those calls often come after the fire's been burning for hours, meaning that when emergency crews respond, they are already at a disadvantage. They're playing catch-up. Firefighters use fire retardant and water dropped by aircraft. They use bulldozers and saws to clear fuel and create trenches, creating a barrier to try to stop a fire in its path. And some of the best tactics we use today sound to me kind of insane. This is a smoke jumper. The U.S. Forest Service employs about 450 of them. They're deployed to high-risk fire areas when a fire breaks out in a hard-to-reach spot. They literally parachute down into the front line, carrying nearly 100 pounds of gear, often working for up to 72 hours straight, trying to stop a fire in its tracks. Wildland firefighting is incredibly dangerous work, taking a heavy toll on the mental and physical health of those who work on the front. The intensity of wildfires today is far outpacing our ability to combat them, and it's only going to get worse. Today's Earth Day, invented 53 years ago, is a radical call for change. At its inception, April 22nd, 1970, organizers hosted teach-ins and led rallies to spread awareness about air and water pollution. 20 million people took to the streets, making it one of the largest nationwide demonstrations in American history. Today, for the 53rd year in a row, smaller-scale events are being held around the world as people call on their governments and other powerful institutions to do something about our rapidly changing climate and ailing planet. Wildfires may be just one piece of the behemoth climate change puzzle, but we will take progress where we can find it. This could be the year when we make major progress on fighting wildfires.